We're live again.
Woo.
Feliz The Last of Us Day, y'all. Another year is here, and I
Crazy.
couldn't do this podcast by myself. I have with here Di, one of my newest, dearest friends. Di, how are
Hey,
you
man.
doing?
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me on.
Man, folks, this is how weird it was. We suspected a trailer was gonna drop.
Yeah,
The
that was
thing
given.
is,
Yeah.
everybody has different schedules, so we're like, okay, we don't want to ruin it, but we have to tell people, yo, it's out. So either stay off the internet or watch it as soon as possible.
Do you know
Um,
people that are trying to avoid it?
I know a couple people are trying to avoid it, and I know I've told people, and I think I did it in the stream early on, which is like, if you haven't played the second game,
Yeah.
proceed with caution. Watch
Yep.
this trailer, and then that's it. And then just get out of social media because you need to know how it's gonna feel going into this season.
Mhm.
And I don't want you getting spoiled. It's like if you won't touch the game, that's on
Yeah.
you. But you have maybe 6 months to wait till we get the show, probably.
Mhm.
Um, but we'll get into that later. Right now, I think right now we're just gonna hang out and wait to see if any other people come in and whatnot. But how was your day today? Besides the Last of Us Day, you were
Oh
just busy.
man, I was hoping to be home for this because I knew it was going to distract the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But it was kind of nonstop since yesterday because so many of our friends are like overseas, right? So they're all prepping, they're all getting ready in their own way for today, and just like keeping the drops in mind. And we were kind of skeptical at first. We were like, they haven't announced anything for Last of Us Day at all, so we were skeptical that we were going to get anything except for the trailer. So
Hmm.
it was kind of like I was up until just before midnight, and I was like, oh, let me just stay up and see what happens. And of course, we'll probably talk about this later, but Gallery Nucleus had their thing, and so
Yeah.
um, I went to bed and I was like, that's fine. I'm sure when I wake up, it'll all be there. But it was kind of like I woke up, everybody was already buzzing, and I was like, damn, I got to go to work today. Like I had to literally go into work. Where usually I don't go in on Thursdays, and so I had to kind of suffer through balancing all the Last of Us stuff with being at work, and so I was distracted, but otherwise it was pretty good. I mean, it got me through the day. A lot's going on right now, so yeah, it was a nice little reprieve, I guess.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's what's weird is that like the only thing we knew that was gonna happen today, and
Yeah.
for those who are watching, we'll slightly preview this a little bit, is that YouTube's was coming out with some figures and whatnot that like you could pre-order by today, or I think now they should be live.
Yeah.
But there were these cute new figures added to it that
Mhm.
are from the first game, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
and that was it. And I really thought, okay, how much are they playing close to the chest, and how much are they going to start trickling down and telling the media outlets and whatnot? Because it's
Mhm.
like, as far as you and I know, nothing's been said for Naughty Dog's 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we all know the state that PlayStation is at right now with the past few weeks with that the release of the pricing and whatnot for their consoles and games now. State of the play was for many a little bit underwhelming. So it's like, okay, what about this
The other.
day?
Yeah.
And I knew we were gonna get the merch drops first, and then it was just all about how long they were gonna hold the trailer for us. And
Mm.
it was cool to see for the most part. A lot of people were like, okay, today's the day. And now a couple of us were like, okay, we'll patiently wait for you by the computer whenever you're ready. HBO, just let me
Yeah.
know, and then I'll prep my camera and stuff and
Yeah.
start recording and
Yeah,
whatnot.
you're fast, man. I was like, dang, I think I saw your reaction video before I got to watch the trailer. I don't know what part it was, but
I
man,
was sweating
bless.
bullets, Di. I was like, okay, I need to get this right. I need a
Yeah.
thumbnail. And like I need to put it up on Twitter, on TikTok, on Threads. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, after that, it's beyond my control. And so let the
Yeah.
internet do with it what they want.
Yeah, I mean, well, because after a time, right? Like you kind of just give up, and you're like, oh, maybe they're not doing it today, because like Marvel, they always drop stuff at like 6 a.m., if not like even
Thunderbolt.
earlier. Thunderbolts, yeah. I was like, I woke up and it was Thunderbolts. I was like, well, that's pleasant. I'm down. I love this. They showed that at San Diego Comic Con, so I was happy to finally see like an HD version that I didn't have to, like I could actually hear, and so for HBO to drop it, I think it was at like 10 or something. I don't know, 8.
8 a.m. I think it was.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I was quite literally about to leave the house. So yeah, I mean, damn, I'm glad we got it at all because I wasn't sure for a minute. And yeah, have you looked at the comments and stuff?
So I haven't, just because I'm like, I'm still on a high. I took a nap because I was
Yeah.
like, almost being like, okay, I have to keep my mouth shut because
Mhm.
I don't want to start posting these photos and be like, dot, 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 WTF. And then people be like, what do you mean WTF? And it's just like,
Yeah,
I got to
dude.
save that either for the stream or for private, combos with you and everybody else who I'm close with. They're like, okay, we
Yeah.
played the game. So what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, it was trippy because also yesterday we had gotten the ballerina teaser, the John Wick spinoff, and so like,
Mhm.
okay, they're dropping a trailer for that as well today.
Yeah.
And so even I haven't seen that trailer yet
I
because
haven't
I've
seen
just
it
been in Last of Us mode. I'm like, okay, once today
either.
concludes, I'll watch that and
100%.
give it my attention. But it's
Yeah.
just mayhem and whatnot.
I know. I forgot which account I commented on. I'm not sure if it was Last of Us or HBO, but I commented on Greg Ruth's drawing of Abby.
Yeah,
And I said, Abby! And I just said, y'all don't even know. And that's all I said. And I'm just like, I drop passive comments all the time. And so I dropped that. But it has like 800 likes. And I was like, ooh, people are catching on. I think they're starting
yeah,
to realize, because I have a few friends that don't play the game, have not played the game, probably will not play the game. But they like slid
yeah.
into my DMs real quick and they're like, so the trailer dropped. I was like, yeah, be careful.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I think the word of the day is that people who haven't played the game
Yeah.
are in over the head. Like you don't know what's coming. Like
I mean, yeah, and to your point, like kind of like how you mentioned earlier, is like even us, people who have lived with this story since it dropped,
yeah,
like we're prepared to some degree, but we already learned from season 1 that it could be next level. They're going to change stuff around. We've already seen it in the trailer.
yeah,
So we're only prepared for so much, and everybody's going to feel it in a similar way, that it's all new and we're all absorbing it, and it's going to
yeah.
be off the charts. It's going to be crazy. Yeah.
Speaking of off the charts,
Yeah.
¿Qué pasa, Busy?
What's up?
Hey.
What's up? Hey, got the homies back. I heard we got a tea time, like a solid start, So excited to play some golf. It'll be fun.
Play night holes.
And I know we were talking about this the other day about getting a trailer or something for this. But I don't know. I didn't expect all that. I expected like a 30-second like kiss on the cheek. But they went crazy. They went a little too
No,
crazy.
they went full mouth. They went
Yeah.
full mouth.
And I feel like, I don't know if a lot of people have been talking about this, but the one thing I'm really excited about is that we got a little clip in that where we got the little strobes of red light, and that's the scene where
The subway.
where Ellie takes, now when Ellie kind of goes into their base and takes what's her name? I forgot. She brings her down. She brings her down to the Spurs.
Mel, I think.
Yeah. No,
is it
not Mel.
No,
It was
the other girl.
yeah. I forget the actress's name, but she was in like All
Tati
American too.
is playing her in The Last of Us.
Okay.
Yeah,
But,
I can't remember.
They brought her down. I don't know how they're gonna do it because I know the Spurs aren't really like a thing. The Spores,
Sure.
excuse me, aren't really a
That's right.
thing.
Yeah.
But you bring them down to, when she brought them down to the Spores and beat the living shit out of her. Like that was like one of my favorite Ellie moments because like she really like embraced her inner Joel.
Yeah.
So to see how they're gonna bring that crazy emotion into the live action screen or like the live screen is, bro.
Oh, Nora, right?
Nora,
Yeah,
there we go.
Nora.
The doctor.
Nora.
Yeah.
Well done, Di. Yeah.
Hey.
Dude, this shit was killing me, bro. Like this entire day, I'm just like, bro, like I got work to do, and I can't be thinking about this right now, man.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was telling folks, and look, thank you, Johnny. Also, I'm on the way. Right on, Johnny. I think once later on we start doing the deep dive into the trailer, there's stuff that like just from like a sound design that I was just like, what are you doing, motherfuckers? What are you doing? But I think that I was telling Di Busy that I'm like, just thank God they didn't make us wait till like now where they would drop the trailer. I'm like 8 a.m. PST, get it out of the way.
Nah, bro, I'm working, dog. I was trying to watch
I
that
know,
shit live.
I know, but it's one of those things that like even us, we had the feeling of like, okay, we might not get part 3, but you got to drop that trailer,
Mhm.
and it was the day before, and I was telling Di that like it's not like Thunderbolt, where like on a random Monday they
Mhm.
decided to put that trailer out, and then even then, those who covered it fucking got blocked for the beginning part of it and whatnot, and just yeah, later
No,
on
I'm glad
I can't
it
wait.
was something, bro. Because like part of me expected like, hey, now we got The Last of Us remastered for the PS2. You know, just something crazy. You know, like I
Mhm.
wasn't sure if they were gonna give us something, but then when you know, as soon as they dropped it, bro, it didn't feel real. Like I saw it and it was like 10 minutes ago, like 400,000 views. I'm like, no, this isn't right. This isn't real. But it was, oh
Yeah.
my god, dude! Like I am so excited. Though I mentioned this to you, Ronan. I am so
Mm.
ready for Abby. I love the actress.
I love
For
Caitlin Dever.
It was
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm so worried for her though. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like
sure.
the, you know, just the negativity that might be headed her way, but
Yeah.
realistically the acting that is going to have to go into this, you know, season like cuz the story is so strong. Like you
Mm.
need to have top
Mhm.
tier actors in this shit. It's not going to be a joke, bro. It's going to be award-winning type shit that we're going to
Yeah.
get and I
And
can't wait.
have you seen her in other stuff? Because she's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
you know, I'm a big sitcom guy, so like the main thing I've seen her in is Last Man Standing.
oh
And that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
one thing
yeah.
that I'm, you know, so she's a really goofy character there, but you know,
Mhm.
to see like characters like go from like, you know, something where they're just their main priority is to make you laugh
Yeah,
to hey, like you killed my dad, I'm coming after you, you know, type shit. Like
yeah,
it's like a, you know, I'm just like it's
yeah.
crazy. It's gonna be
What
interesting.
Yeah.
what had I seen? I had seen her in No One Will Save You, that Hulu movie of the
Oh,
alien one,
And she was
and
in
that's
Booksmart.
and Booksmart was the big
Yeah.
thing that
yeah.
like with Olivia Wilde, and I was like, when I saw No One Will Save You, I'm like, okay, the fighting
Mhm.
wise, she has it in her to go down that route,
Sure.
and
Yeah,
not just with you know what I'm alluding
yeah,
to, but other stuff in Seattle.
yeah. I first saw her in Unbelievable, and like that was just something I put on,
Ah,
and oh my god! Like the minute I saw her in that, I was like, dude, this, and I'm gonna say it because someone has to say it. I was like, this girl would be dope as Ellie. I was like, she would kill it as
Oh
at
Ellie.
yeah,
one
a lot of
point,
people
I
were
was like,
saying that, yeah.
oh, she's so good. And so like I had like many people fan casted her in my brain to play Ellie for the longest time before they announced the show. And I was like, okay. But then they brought her in as Abby, and I was like, I'm not even mad at it because she's so good
Mhm.
that to Busy's point is that you need somebody who's going to be able to bring that ferocity out and also the emotion. And so Caitlin is like, she's obviously so good at that. Like that's her bread and butter is bringing out the
Yeah.
emotion and being able to really convey like anger and sadness and all
yeah,
that. So I was like, no, she's great. She's a
And
great fit.
she was like the one of the only characters in that sitcom where they would give like serious scenes to, where they
Oh,
would
really?
have her actually be emotional and shit. So I'm like, oh, she's about to cook. It's gonna be
Yeah.
really interesting to see how they handle the whole situation. But like the whole, it all comes down to like, I know a lot of people had their, you know, curiosities about it. You know, maybe not
Mhm.
taking as long between seasons. You know, Ellie
Mhm.
not looking old enough. But at the end of the day, as long as they act their hearts out, bro, I feel like this is gonna
Yeah.
be like a beautiful piece of work, man. I'm really ready for it.
yeah. Okay, so right now we're almost 15 minutes into the stream. So the way we're gonna start is for those of you who are watching either now or in the playback, welcome to Bottles and Bricks, the Last of Us podcast. In a few minutes, we're gonna start talking about first the merch to get that out of the way and showcase if any collectibles are going out on the hunt. That you and I know somebody that was just like, about the
Yeah.
figures,
Yeah.
and then we'll dive deep into the trailer. And forewarning for those who are watching either now or in the future, I'm gonna put up a spoiler sign. After that, that's on you because we have to talk about part 2 in order to sh- emphasize where we're coming from in our point of view
Yeah.
of okay, this is hitting very emotional, and I can't tell you why because if not, you're not gonna it'll throw you off for season 2 in much the way stuff happened with part 2 prior to its release for a lot of us in the community. So
I want to
uh,
say that I'm glad you're putting it on again because I'm gonna be so real. I didn't watch the entirety of it in case we went over it in the stream because I was at work when I was checking it out, and I like had my phone down, like I snuck out of court made sure I was like paying attention to this. Like I wanted to, but I couldn't have the audio up. So I know they have Pearl Jam in the background, but I really don't know like what else was happening because I had to keep looking up to make sure everything is cool. So I'm really ready to check this shit out like to full capacity.
Yeah.
I man. Okay. I'm gonna play the intro now to get the ball going officially. This was just a cool warm up, and then I want us first before we dive deep into this stuff, introduce y'all and tell y'all and for y'all to let you showcase where you come from with this franchise and how it connected with you, and then we celebrate, and then we fucking go wild afterwards.
Cool.
All right. So, folks, hang on tight because we have a lot to talk about in the coming minutes. Boom! Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bottles and Bricks, a Last of Us podcast. I'm your host, Ronan Chain. I have my own band of survivors, of my own Jackson citizens. I have Di, I have Busy Braun. Y'all, Di, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It is Joel Miller's birthday. Happy birthday, Joel. Happy to be here on a momentous day. It's kind of crazy because last time we recorded for the podcast, I think it might have been last year. I don't know. It's time flies, but yeah, it's so wild. It's so great to be here. Thank you for having me and participate in this very special day.
Thank you for showing up. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, come on now. Like, I am only as strong as the people around me and whatnot. And Busy, hermano.
Oh, I feel like I lose track of everything that we record, like all the projects and everything. And but like, yeah, I'm happy to be here. I mean, I started playing this when they dropped it on PS4, and yeah, I mean, I totally forgot we were going live today, so I just kind of threw on a shirt and kind of ran over here. But I'm like, yeah, support the homie. So here we are.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. But yes, folks, this is the Bottles and Bricks, a Last of Us podcast. We tend to go live whenever a big announcement or news comes out. So if you are a fan of the video games, the show, maybe not even neither of them, you're a fan of American Dreams, the graphic novel, this is the podcast where you want to hang out with, which means you got to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the enthusiasm. The more this show grows, the more my crazy ideas can form and come to life, because I am a nut. I have a lot of ideas I want to set up in the world with this podcast. And I think what I want to do is, for those who are new, because there are new fans, I think, in this community, is that we're going to go down the line right here. And if anybody else joins us, they'll do this as well. Di, tell the people, where do you come from with The Last of Us? What was your origin story? Ellie has the first games. What's your origin story with your connectivity with this franchise?
My God. So I had a couple of gamer friends and a very close friend of mine, or both of them actually. They were both like, they knew I was kind of, I loved video games and I love like certain things that I'll talk about in a second, but they're like, you got to play this game. You got to play The Last of Us. So I was like, okay, I will. I'm really busy. I'll find time. And I eventually found the time that I was looking for. And I tell you, the minute I got into it, it was over. I was obsessed. And so I started to realize why so many people had actually come to me and say, you really got to play this game. It's for you. I love the whole concept of apocalyptic worlds. I'm going to say the Z word, zombies. And I love that whole stuff. I know, my bad. I come from a Walking Dead background too. So
oh yeah.
Yeah. And so, and with The Walking Dead, I had read all the comics and then I got into the show and whatnot. So I was looking for something different that kind of scratch this itch that I had in the back of my head. And when The Last of Us came into it, I was like, oh, this is it. It's happening. I found something. And I had a bunch of friends that would just be like, yeah, you remind me of Ellie. And I was like, really? And so I played it. I played it and I was like, oh my God, curses like a sailor, kind of silly, likes music, NASA and dinosaurs. I was like, all right, I'm in. So let's go. And so, yeah, from that moment, I jumped in 100%, and I played Left Behind, and I played the remastered and everything, everything that came out, I was on it. And then when the show got announced and stuff, and it got so much broader, I was like, oh man, this is really an opportunity to kind of meet more people. And I was so happy, especially last year, because I felt like I was floating in this fandom that I didn't quite get to connect with other people as easily as I would like with Marvel. You know, you see Marvel and at work, and people are like, oh yeah, I like that new show. You know, like they're so quick to jump in. But with The Last of Us, it was a little harder for me, so I couldn't quite connect with other folks. But thanks to that gallery event we had for the 10th anniversary last year, I was able to connect with folks, and you know, of course, Ronan here, my boy now. And so since last year, I've found this really incredible community of people that I have been able to share everything with. And so, you know, since even before that, you know, I had jumped to that VIP event that they had for the show for season 1. I flew to New York and I got an invite for it. And I was like, I'm gonna go. Like, I will take time off. I will, you know, they didn't pay for it. They just invited me, you know. But I was so in love with the game and the concept and the storyline and the music and everything, even the actors and the work that they put into it. And that I had to go. And you know, and I told Neil Druckmann this when I first met him last year, that at the gallery, I was like, you know, this is, you know, my father passed away almost 3 years ago, unexpectedly. And so The Last of Us was the last thing I got to share with him. And like he sat down, he was like a 75-year-old man, you know, and he sat down. I didn't play the game. I wouldn't make him do that. But he sat and watched. I was like, Dad, you love this story. It's so good. And so, you know, at the time he used to fly maybe every 6 months to come visit me. And so he and my mom were here, and I was like, Dad, you got to watch the cinematic. Okay, you're gonna love it. And he sat there and watched the cinematic for one.
Oh, that's so cool.
2 hours, yeah, and he loved it. And he was like, oh, I can't wait for the show. But unfortunately, passed away, so he didn't get to see it, and I didn't get to show him part 2. But I told Druckmann, I was like, yeah, man, you know, I'm sure you hear this all the time, and I'm sure you hear how much it means to everybody, but like genuinely, like I'm sure everybody who said it before me meant it, and it means the world to me that this thing exists. So thanks to you and the team for doing it. And so here I am now wearing a shirt on with my friends that I absolutely adore. So it's kind of gone up from there, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Beautiful. Jesus, that's a hell of an origin story. Busy?
I ain't topping that story. My boys were like, hey, you want to get into story games, right? I said, yeah. They're like, oh, The Last of Us is cool, so I played it. You know? But hell of a story. It was the first like actual story game that I played other than like a Call of Duty campaign, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I was like 13 when they dropped it on like the, you know, as soon as it became available for PS4, I ended up playing it. And they're like, yeah, hop on it now because, you know, they're going to drop The Last of Us 2 pretty soon. And that didn't get dropped for another like 5 years, but that's besides the point. But, you know, by then I was already a really, really dedicated fan. And, you know, the story that you're telling is extremely beautiful because of the fact that they're bringing it into this form, which makes it easier for a lot of people to enjoy. Yeah. Because this is one thing I tried to show, like my mom was always like, why are you wasting your time playing these games, you know, when I was a kid, until it started making me money through YouTube. She just didn't care, you know. But like for the longest time she was just like, why are you wasting your time? And then she didn't understand why we would stare at a screen for this long. And I would try to show her these cutscenes. Like I showed her the intro to the first game where Joel, like, you know, turns his back, tries to save his daughter, the whole thing. And, you know, I tried to, like, you know, let her know, like, these are literally movies that we control, you know, it's like a whole different vibe. And now that they're putting these stories into, you know, full on shows, it's so cool to see other people enjoying a story or a franchise that means so much to us. And obviously they're getting it in a different format, but it's still a story we love. So it's really, really cool to see it. And that's why I love how these they're so dedicated to making this show so accurate to what we got in the game, and they're not really changing things, you know. Unfortunately, there's a lot of games and shows that do that. They'll change the lore, they'll change up so much, and unfortunately, I can understand why people are frustrated. But I'm so glad we're seeing everything happen, you know. At least the big pieces happen the way we want, and I just can't wait to see how they do that with the part 2, because it's going to be damaging for a lot of people. This is going to cause like generational trauma. It's going to be a whole thing.
Yeah, like I keep telling people as soon as the first season ended. I think I told you I was like, "Oh yeah, people who don't know, this is as good as it's gonna get. This is a
Yeah.
mild version."
Like you're happy for the trailer. That's where the happiness ends. You
Yeah.
know.
Pretty much, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Woo.
Yeah,
But she
for
plays a
me,
guitar, which is pretty happy. You know.
oh,
I know.
just the
It's-
Yeah.
shot where he moves and you see it's the moth. I was just like, get the fuck out of here.
oh man.
I was like, no
We're
way.
gonna need like a happiness cut of the show where someone just edits out all the craziness and just
All the
puts
sweet
the
moments,
happiness.
That video would be like 49 seconds, man.
Yeah, director's cut. Yeah. It's gonna be smaller than the teaser trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Ah
Dude.
shit.
Yeah. Good times.
Why are we
So
doing
good.
this to ourselves again?
I know. Well, we say this all the time, right? We said this when like part 2 came out, when remastered came out, when the season 1
Yeah.
dropped. We're like, oh, well,
Oh no. Oh man.
Yeah. For me, what was weird is that like I had gone into Naughty Dog because of Uncharted, and then I didn't realize it at the time. But like I had grown up on Crash Bandicoot, so Naughty Dog was always part of my DNA. And then I remember uh, a relative of mine, I finished Uncharted 4. I'm like, this is the best game ever and whatnot. And they just looked at me. And I'm like, what? I'm like, play Last of Us. I'm like, why? And I like post-apocalyptic stuff as well, but zombies and uninfected, those weren't always my stake. I respected it. And then I remember someone showing me like the opening cinematics. And I was like, okay, stop. I'll play it. And then I went on a high with that game, and it was just like, forget about it. I that Left Behind. I was hunting down the soundtrack on CD. I found the American Dreams graphic novel, and like I was just like, at that time I was like, that's it. And then part 2 came about, and it was like, oh shit, careful what you wish for. And I think that what's really unique with this story that they're doing for season 2 is that like when it dropped, the circumstances of how it dropped, and how through the friction, because I still battle with it of my feelings with that game, is just like how much the community grew and how again perspectives were brought to the light and whatnot. So I don't, if some connect with more characters than others from the first game, that's fine with me. And I think that's what was cool about something that I commend part 2 was just like it expanded the world beyond the few spots that Joe and Ellie had made their way through. Like there's the northern and western side of the country, and then you have to also think about what's happening in Mexico and Japan and England and Brazil, wherever may have you. And so that's what was my connection with the franchise, is that like it hit me the same way Star Wars hit me, where I love the material and I couldn't get the damn music out of my head. And I've always said it, that like what Gustavo did for Last of Us is what John Williams did for Star Wars. And I will stand by that statement. I'm like, it's a character of it, and you can't take a character out of it. And I agree with Busy that like, especially this year when you do particularly movie adaptations of video games, and how sometimes they don't always pan out. But then again, we were lucky. And again, a salute to our Fallout neighbors that like Fallout had an adaptation in television, and it was incredible, stupendous adaptation. And I can only imagine that team that was so enthusiastic in making the season 1 is going to come back for season 2 and show us what they've been cooking. But in the meantime, what Naughty Dog and their associates have been cooking is a bunch of new merch. So collectibles, careful with your wallets. This is what we're talking about, what's been dropping. And so the first thing that was hinted out, the only thing that was hinted out for today was U2s. You want to get a little clicker toy? Boom, come and get it. And I think right now they're going for $30, $35, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think Joel might be a little more. I think he might be 34, 35, but it's pretty much that.
And this goes back to what you were saying earlier, Di. Like the whole if someone has Marvel things, everyone's like, hey, let's talk about it because it's so out there,
Yeah.
And I don't have anything Last of Us related on my desk at work because of the fact that I'm just like, I don't want to answer a whole bunch of questions. So I don't want to do all that. So like I keep
Yeah.
it simple with Dwight Schrute and just like Batman.
Oh,
I'm like,
funny.
yeah.
Sure,
But I
sure.
mean, that's one thing that I'm really excited for, like just the merch in general. Like New
Yeah.
York Comic Con, I'm excited to find some art pieces.
Oh,
This,
okay.
you know?
I'll be there too, man.
Yo, hell yeah, dog.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome, man. I hope they have like I wish they had a panel,
I know.
related to it. Yeah, I was looking at the
Well,
panels
their
today. I'm just like,
timing.
yeah,
That's what I kind of do appreciate. I do respect that about HBO, especially with this, is that this, I mean, maybe they'll change this for next year, but they don't seem to align the show and their teases with conventions necessarily. Like they could have gone ham at San Diego,
Yeah.
even with season 1. I was predicting that they were going to bring that whole installation of the museum down, and I thought they were going to put it in San Diego, and then I was like, oh, actually no, their timing is like completely different. So maybe they're just focused more on the game community, which is like that's cool.
which is it's really cool because I mean they
Yeah.
could easily. This is like Comic Con is less than a month away. Like they could have dropped
Yeah.
that then, but
yeah,
dedicated a whole panel over there. But instead of doing that, it just feels as though they really care about the fans, which I really like. I mean, there's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
So I am really excited to see what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And
really cool.
speaking of fans, Gianni, ¿qué pasa?
Yo. Sorry, I'm
How you doing,
late.
bro? Nah, you're fine.
I'm good. I got held up late at work. I should have told him it was a religious holiday for me, so I could have had off. But here I am. Yeah, I should have. I thought about that on the drive home. I was like, shit, should have done that. Sick hours. But how's everybody else doing on this wonderful
Chilling, bro,
Last of Us Day?
chilling.
Just recovering.
Recovered. Yeah, dude. Oh my god, bro.
Getting ready for that 2025 tea time.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Oh man.
Yo, let's watch that trailer, bro. What you waiting for, Ronan?
I'm trying,
Yo, DJ, play that shit.
I'm trying to
hit that track.
fix it in whatnot. But until before we get to that, I know folks who are watching this. I want to make sure everybody knows who these people are, and that way they know where we're coming from with their connection. So Gianni, I think it's safe to say you're a fan. So
Yeah, a little bit. Enjoy it from time to time. I'm a casual Last of Us fan.
So
I don't have shit all over the place. Yeah.
If you'd be so inclined, tell us your origin story. Where did the Last of Us? How did the Last of Us enter your life?
Wow. I think it was. I wasn't there from the jump, but I was there from like maybe 2014. The first time I played it was when I got my PS4. I played the PS4 remaster, and I think literally from the opening of the first game, I was like, "This is gonna be like one of the greatest things I ever experienced." I'm also crying in a video game, like I just lost a family member.
Aww.
And then it just connected with me on just a very, very deep nerdy level. And it's just been love at first sight, going strong almost 10 years later. And then I'm an unabashed Last of Us Part 2 lover too, even though it's a very emotionally abusive relationship. I still love it. I'm just a fanboy, dude. That's really it. I'm a nerd. I played it in 2014 and I just couldn't stop. It just never left me.
Yeah.
Joel and Ellie are two of my favorite characters out of anything ever. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. It's amazing how much by the time I met them, I was Star Wars freak, Marvel freak, and how quickly they shot their way up. The list. And I was just like,
same. Add Batman to that, and then Joel and Ellie. That's my little clique right there. That's it. And they're really high up there. Some days they're number one. Some days I'm like, Batman. But then I'm like, I don't know.
Same.
Yeah. So
Johnny, are you gonna buy any collectibles? Like, for example, the YouTube figures?
I'm not gonna lie, merch wise, disappointed. Where's my Pearl Jam clicker shirt that I definitely didn't buy, but that I still, I don't know. I was like, I'm happy because I get to save some money. I didn't have to buy like a $300 Joel statue again or something. But so that was cool. But merch side, very underwhelmed. Trailer though, I didn't care. Once I saw a trailer, I was like, that's fine. I didn't need another t-shirt anyway. It's okay.
All is forgiven.
I was like, I didn't need another just like moth t-shirt or something or flannel. I don't know. I was like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
This trailer was enough.
Yeah, to me, like I think the last thing I had connected with YouTube's was they had done a John Wick figure, and so it was cool that they partner up with Naughty Dog to do this. What's weird, I don't know if you saw this guy, but when we were at Comic-Con, they had the Dark Horse Ellie bust where it was like one with a gun and one with a knife, and so I'm shocked
That's
that
sick.
wasn't promoted here as well.
That's the one that everybody's kind of mortified because the face looks jank.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
It's like I think it's like $250 or something. It's kind of pricey for a bus. I was like, it's yay big, and they're charging a little bit too much for it. But
That's kind of crazy.
yeah, but I will say I did cop the U2s. I wanted the clicker for sure, but I wasn't so sure about Joel, so I was like, let me just get them both.
bravo.
I'll find somebody who wants it for sure, but he might change my mind once he arrives. We'll see.
Yeah. And I think something that I think it's more affordable than the bust and whatnot is that Gallium Nucleus, again, something that Di and I is our part of our friendship origin story, is that they dropped a new print, which I think is drop dead gorgeous. I think this feels almost like a concept art that they put out as a print one. I was like, okay, how does a fungus enter the brain and whatnot, and how much more are we gonna show it and whatnot? And I know when we were there, there was stuff they weren't even selling.
Yeah, that was part of it.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
That was the one. It was one of 3 prints that I was like, I wish they were selling this. And then thankfully, when they dropped the one at San Diego Comic-Con, I was like, what about the parasitic one? And then lo and behold, they saved it for today. And so that was actually, I was on that page at midnight waiting for it to roll over. And then it rolled over, but it was unavailable until like 10 a.m. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to go back to sleep. But I'm glad that they finally released it. And I forgot the amazing artist's name, but it's breathtaking. Yeah. The original, I think they were trying to sell it for $1,400.
$1,400.
Holy shit.
And I don't even know if it was the original or just like a limited press of art print. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll take $60 is cool.
Yeah, that's more up my alley and whatnot. I think Abigail Larson is the artist of that print.
There you go.
Shout out to Abigail.
Abby.
Yeah, no, that's ironic.
It's an Abby.
That's kind of funny.
But yeah. Let's see. Oh, Johnny Robert.
Yeah, that's my boy.
He is the GOAT. Yes, he is the GOAT. I've been all right, bro. Been sick like a dog, but I'm alive. Here, Joe.
Yep.
Here.
Get better soon, Joe. We love you.
But yeah, I think besides that, we have, again, for any of the gamers side, there's a new photo mode on No Return for Last of Us Part 2 with obviously Lev and a bow and arrow. I don't own a Steam Deck, but I thought this was kind of cute for the individual that do carry a Steam Deck. Damn it, I'm trying to upload the trailer, damn it. But before we go,
the posters,
the posters by Greg Ruth,
so good.
And this is from a person who does a lot of Criterion Collection like covers and whatnot, like for Blu-rays and 4K. So it was just mind-bending the amount, the guitar and the watch solo. I am willing to bet they got more inspired for Ellie's shot from the cover of the game, where it's
that's what I was gonna say.
Like blood and
They were like, "Oh, people shit on Bella for not looking like Ellie, whatever." Here you go, dude. That poster is fire. I love it.
And
I love the Abby one. It almost shows the dread of like what's happened to her mind, and then when you watch the show, you know what I mean.
This is gonna be terrible.
Honestly, I like those posters like better than season 1. Like those are really good posters, like super clean.
Yeah. They're more artistic, if you will, for the sake of artistic wise, and it's not just Photoshop, if you will. Like the other thing I dug about the posters from season 1 was that they try to pay an homage to the PS3 cover, where it's like, okay,
which is cool. It was really cool.
Let's see. Just nothing nice.
And I think Greg is putting them on sale like in 2 weeks or something in October. Like
Prints or the originals?
The originals. And that HBO might be selling prints, but we don't know that for sure yet. So I'm kind of like, let's see if we can get some prints because the originals are probably looking up of $2,000 or higher a piece.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a little out of my price range, but
Yeah, for sure.
I was surprised with the lack of merch. I was like, first year with the show, HBO probably could have done like a big merch drop or something. Again, I'm happy my wallet gets to kind of recover a little bit, but I was like, would have bought a T-shirt maybe.
Yeah, and then
with Papa Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Papa Pedro. Yeah, they only dropped that army green or forest
The
green.
hoodie?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because sometimes they'll even before or after Last of Us Day, they'll drop like they make a deal with a vinyl producer and they'll drop, okay, here's the season 1 soundtrack in vinyl or here's the Left Behind soundtrack and it's just fancy. I know what's the other one? Cooks and something where they put up like
Cook
a
and Becker.
notebook. Yeah, Cook and Becker where they put up those where they sell mostly the concept art prints and they put together like a little notebook package that's very inspired by the Wolf organization, if you will.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else can we talk about besides the Big Kahuna? Waiting for someone. I'm not gonna say the name. Set up the trailer. But let me. I'm gonna pose this question. When do we think it's gonna come out? There's a lot of word on the street that it might be in March, April, because they want to get it in time for the Emmys. Last time around, it was in January, and that thing held until March for 8 solid weeks. Where do we think it's gonna land? And what are our thoughts? Let's go around everybody. So, Dai, what do you think?
I'm gonna say March. I
March?
think March. Yeah, I think also they just want to kind of take on the vibes of like a cold, wintry scape. Really pull people in emotionally too, and just kind of really, really harp on that and like focus on that and get it across. But to your point, like and also for award season, like it seems like a prime time for them to kind of get in there, and it also depends on their other schedule, whatever their release schedule is for other stuff that's coming out on Max. So I think beating the summer and actually giving it a strong winter and early spring, I think that's the move for them. I think it's that's my guess.
All right. Izzy, what do you think?
Totally spaced out on the question.
You think we're getting the show early or late or mid 2025?
Yeah.
I think if they're giving us the teaser this early, I think we would get it probably at the earliest, maybe March of 2025.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna go summer. If they go summer, then that's OD.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Johnny, what do you think?
For selfish reasons, I would wish January, but that's probably not going to happen. I think February would be a nice sweet spot, though.
Ooh,
Start it in February, still snowy, and then
Yeah.
as the story progresses, we go to different places.
Oh, when did the first season air?
January 15th,
Right.
I believe.
You knew that a little too quick, bro.
Dude, it was.
What are you, a nerd or something, dude? What's going on?
Yeah.
That was the coolest and most stressful time in my life as someone who's making videos because it was setting up that we had seen it, setting up the reactions, the fucking the reviews on Team JVS, and also doing the podcast here. It was madness. So that's why that date still sticks in my mind because I was like, I can't be sick and I can't be working that day. I'm like, fuck that. And so,
that was my oldest friend's and my sister's birthday, and I was like, no, Last of Us. Sorry.
All I know is by 9 o'clock, I'm out, dude.
Do something earlier in the day. At the end of the day,
I'm open for brunch.
Like, unfortunately, I gotta meet my boy Joel for tea time. We're gonna be busy.
okay, so I've made it y'all wait long enough. So I'm gonna do something right now to see if I can showcase the trailer.
Let's go, Ronan.
I know, right? Okay.
Noise.
All right. Can everybody see it?
No.
Yep.
Okay. I want to test out first before we go deep, and I want to hear. Make sure everybody can hear it.
100 times over.
Oh man,
I don't even care though. I don't even care.
Okay, let's test it out. Let's see if y'all. Let me know if you can hear it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Everybody good?
Just like
good.
a
Okay, so I'm gonna do this right now. Or where the fuck is it? Here we go. Okay, y'all. We're gonna watch the trailer. We're probably gonna cry. We're gonna scream. We're gonna like swear like a sailor, and then we're gonna try to do our non-spoiler review thoughts afterwards. And then I'm gonna put that spoiler sign, and then that bitch is going out the fucking window.
We have to. We have to.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So,
Let's go.
without further ado, endure and survive, y'all.
Oh, you want to start or what?
Fuck that mailbox, dude.
Let's try something different.
God damn it! Fuck these motherfuckers.
Mhm.
She's brave enough to say it out loud.
Oh, she looks so good. I can't wait.
I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, dude, just chills, just
Kill me.
chills.
Ugh.
Say it out loud.
Oh,
no matter
no!
What it is, no matter how bad. Damn. What did you do?
Oh, that cut. Oh,
So good. So
Bro,
good.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
days of you and me.
No.
Yeah, it gives me PTSD.
I know.
Oh god.
I'm already done with this shit, bro.
Dude, that shot is wicked.
Scars.
Isaac, man. Isaac. Yikes.
Such a good casting too,
I
bro.
know. Yeah. Dude,
Oh,
oh my
fucking
god.
incredible.
Like it's just peak. It's peak. I don't care. I'm gonna jerk it off. It's peak.
We are not ready.
Bro, I'm gonna need like 5 boxes of tissues every episode. Like I'm not even lying.
Hey, yo,
Like,
Ronan,
I'm
we're
gonna need
gonna be-
therapy.
We're gonna be holding each other, crying, me and you, bro.
I
I'm
can't
telling
even.
you.
Yeah.
Dude. Like
Oh, I'm
I
crying.
bro, I should not have done it, but it dropped when I was on my lunch break at school. I was just chilling in a deli with my classmates, and I was sitting there like, like I'm
Yeah.
fine. It's fine.
Oh man.
Man. Okay, so damn it, another friend of ours is trying to get in. So right now, I want everybody to.
I hope they've seen it, bro, because we
I
ain't
know.
holding back, bro. I'm telling you.
We're gonna go
Ah,
down the
fuck it,
list,
run it back.
give each other's non-spoiler review, spoiler thoughts, and then we'll run it back. So, Di, how are you feeling?
Ah,
Yeah, no, this is gonna fuck us up like real hard.
Yeah.
We've only gotten 2 minutes of it, and it's already it's great, perfect, beautiful, perfect. Can't even say anything. Like I'm ready for the pain, ready for the trauma. Let's go.
Yeah.
Beautiful casting, amazing. Can't wait.
Busy.
Jeffrey Wright's about to cook, bro. Like,
Bro.
the
Oh my
cast
god.
is
Seriously.
phenomenal. I can't wait, bro. Like the
Mhm.
story's already fire. The fact that we got like these grade A actors, bro.
Yep.
Isabella making a little entrance. Then we got Bella Ram. Yo, this is gonna be crazy, bro.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Catherine O'Hara, like damn, dude.
Yeah. Kevin, bro. This is what we talk.
David.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bro, people be sleeping on Schitt's Creek, dude.
Shit's
No,
Creek is
right?
peak
I know.
television. I love it.
So good,
Ugh.
David.
I don't know what else to say, brother. I'm traumatized.
Yep. Yeah, there you go.
Aw. Well, you gotta split it up when you do that.
Oh yeah, and then yeah, this will be the
Yeah.
beginning, and then
Trauma.
trauma dump. Just yeah. I mean, as a show,
Mm-hmm.
10 out of 10. As an adaptation, 10 out of 10. Like it looks like it's like a dream come true. Like I'm really fanboying hard, but like I
Bro,
couldn't
I got-
believe what I was watching when I was seeing the trailer.
This is
Like-
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like shots out of the game. perfectly captured. And yeah, I'm not ready. I'm not. Like, I'm ready, but I'm really not. Like, I want to, like, if it came out tomorrow, like, I'd stay up until 3 a.m. to watch it, even though I have school in the morning. I wouldn't give a shit, but, like, I'm not ready, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay. So some friends want to come in right now and join us. So yeah, folks. This is gonna be so selfish of plugging. But I did a reaction early on where you can see me almost voiceless and fucking trying to hold back the tears.
Bro, this is your channel. How is it selfish?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can plug your own content, bro. Like,
but you know me.
Humble as fuck over here.
I know. Yeah, folks. This was so beautiful and yet so like almost a slap to the face tragic. And I can't tell you why it was so tragic, because these mother are doing it's not even just what they're showing us, it's the cutting. What did you do?
Yeah.
Cut to somebody that
Yeah.
pivotal. And then once we start talking spoilers, the takeaway of the sound, the music, it's just like, are y'all just trying to train us for that cue in the show? Like, how dare you do that in the trailer? I mean, how dare you do that in Last of Us Day?
Mm-hmm.
How dare you? And so, like, what the fuck? And I listen, Pearl Jam,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the, this is what I love about genre stuff, that like even music can transcend what people know about it now. Like, I grew up with Aha and Take On Me, but now that song lives on its own, and yet it's part of Ellie's life. It's part of now, from what I take away, Anna's life. It's part of Dina's life, and it's just profound in a very beautiful way, in my opinion. Oh Jesus. Speaking of profound, we have Michael.
Hey.
Pasa, Mikey?
Hey, the homie. Man,
What's going on?
We have Ty.
Hey.
What's up?
What's going on, good people? What it do?
And we have Samuel.
Bro, you had all them waiting in the back, bro. That's disrespectful. Holy shit.
No. We'll talk about that later. So have y'all seen the trailer yet or no?
No.
He don't watch that. He don't
Okay.
he don't watch that shit.
run it back.
Okay. So all right, yeah. So
One more time.
Yeah, I got it right here. I got the file already uploaded.
Hey.
Hey, that shit's
Oh,
so
oh,
let's run it again.
Oh, damn.
Fuck.
Got it.
Man couldn't even put on his headphones fast enough.
Let's try something different.
Oh, fucking
You can't heal something unless you're brave enough to say it out loud. Say the thing you're afraid to say.
I'm watching Sam the whole time, bro.
Say it out loud, no matter what it is, no matter how bad. What did you do?
Yo, hold up. I might have to leave. Gee. Oh my God. Holy crap.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh no.
Damn. You got killed again. Bro.
Oh
my
They
God.
turned to have a big year.
No.
Yeah, Pedro's gonna have a big year in
No.
2025.
No, because
Oh my gosh.
My wife never played a game.
Ah.
She doesn't even know what's about to happen.
They are doing the 5-year jump. Freak me. Oh my
emotional damage.
Hey, yo, Ronan, you should pull up.
No.
Sam's gameplay to The Last of Us Part 2.
No, we don't got to do all that.
Okay.
Nah,
So Die, Busy, and Johnny, we've already given our non-spoiler thoughts. Ty, Michael, Samuel, what are your spoiler thoughts? Non-spoiler thoughts? Because I've already said it. We're gonna talk spoilers. We have to. There's no
Hey,
way
before
we can.
we all do that, I'm gonna head out. I'm definitely gonna watch from behind the scenes. But
All right.
we want to say peace out, guys. I appreciate you letting me in.
First
Appreciate
plug,
talking to you guys.
plug yourself, man. Let the people where they can find you.
Busy Brown everywhere. You guys have a great one.
All right, hey, brother.
Catch you later, bro.
All right. Who wants to lead us off? Mike, Ty, Sam. Who wants to go
Wait,
first?
hold on, bro. I hate to be this guy. Can you run that back? I'm sorry. Run that back real quick.
You just had to ask, didn't you?
Set it up and let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You just had to ask.
Let's see.
Oh, you want to start or what?
Miller.
I just peep a Nirvana vinyl in the background there.
You can't heal something unless you're brave enough to say it out loud. Say the thing you're afraid to say.
Bro, that work.
I'll say
Say
it.
it
Take
out loud, no
on me.
matter what it is, no
afraid to
matter how
say take on
bad.
Oh, this rendition of the song.
What did you do?
Bruh. Wow. Yo, even rain. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't know who edited this, but they were a masterclass for that.
Yeah, they went fucking crazy.
Guys, dog. Yeah, that was a lot, bro.
Yes,
emotionally, that's a lot because I mean, again, this is not a spoiler, but we know where all this leads, and I feel like they captured the essence of every single nuanced moment to the build up to where we know this is going to be. It couldn't be no more perfect for me. But yet the anticipation that I have now is building up. I was looking to think, man, this is going to be dread, but the trailer added elevated anticipation. That was a great freaking trailer because there's certain things in there that like certain groups of people and stuff that I'm curious to see how their approach is. I think I'm more curious and excited than I was going into this. But the back of my heart is very sad, and emotional damage is what comes to my mind.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Hi. We watched season 1 together.
We did.
How
Great time.
How are you holding up?
Okay, so before I answer that, you said something about we have to talk spoilers, so I want to make sure I'm clear before I say this. Is this spoiler or non-spoiler?
Non-spoiler. Right now, non-spoiler.
Okay. I will say this, and I'm actually going to do a crossover here. Out of the companies span of life of since the creation of Naughty Dog to now. There are only have ever been two monumental problems I have had in a Naughty Dog franchise. Both of them are going to probably be in this season based on what I've seen in this trailer. And from what I have seen so far, if I've got my characters correct, they have already corrected one. They're not going to correct the other. I was telling Sam before we came on here, I hadn't watched the trailer because this series adaptation is basically ripping from the game. And based on what I've seen, what's going to happen is going to happen. And I am still emotionally torn on it, like truly emotionally torn on it. But in that, I am highly anticipating what is going to happen, and I'm looking forward to watching this, and I'm hoping we get to watch it together again, my friend, because we had a time covering season 1, and I think we're going to have just as much of a time with season 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta leave it at that because I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna get more mad if I keep going.
Okay, Mike, ¿qué pasa? What do you think, bro?
So first off, hello everyone, how you doing? So first off, my wife has not played neither the first game or the second one, but she was heavily invested into the series and everything. This is like one of the first shows we watched, after we got married and everything, that she was like, oh, I'm all in. And I'm trying to prepare her, for what's happening, what's going to be coming in season 2.
Yeah.
And well, with this trailer, after watching it, I don't know if I can prepare myself. Even I already know what's going to happen. One thing I am actually really taking a step back from that's just as a critic but as a fan, and also watching the fan reactions to this, because when the game came out, it was a very, very polarizing time, and now seeing this and what the story points they're going to cover in this, I am praying for all the actors in their personal lives protection, and not just social media and everything. That's my main concern. In terms of performances, why? I mean, guess, hey, throw the Emmys out. Just throws at Penguin, throws at all that, yeah, I feel like Pedro, he's gonna have a good year for 2025. So,
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. I want to echo this again. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Ronan Unchained channel. This is Bottles and Bricks, a Last of Us podcast. We geek out as much as we can about the world of The Last of Us and the news that come out with, and anything that's close to valid, not valid, or officially released. And that's the one thing I want to make certain the folks know, that like, go into this. This story is bleak, it's heavy, it's long, and I only ask one thing of the community and newcomers: be respectful, mind your manners. That's all I'm saying. You could, Jesus, Mike. You could dislike choices, dislike stuff and whatnot if you want. That's everybody's right, whatnot. But how you behave yourself goes a long way, and how you speak or interact with people also goes a long way. So I'm welcoming people who are new and old, fans or non-fans, but also you start troubling stirs, the door is gonna throw you out, Latino style, and Latino style sucks like a motherfucker. And yeah, so okay, I need to do it now because I can't hold it back anymore. All right, folks, we've all given you our non-spoiler thoughts on the trailer. Now we have to. What the hell, Mike? Now we have to talk spoilers. We have to. There's no way we can go forward without discussing the potential stuff they showcase here. Shots, for Christ. So if you haven't played the game, save this, come back when you play the game or experience the show and hang out with us to hear our thoughts in a very retrospective way. But if you have played the game, if you know, and you know what we're gonna bring up. So last morning, spoilers.
Wait, hold on. Let me help them out.
Okay.
You gotta give people a minute. Look,
Yeah.
you guys, if you're watching this and you're enjoying our stream, cool, right? If you're watching the first scene, you're like, oh well, I know what may happen. Like, we want you to go into completely fresh.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to project my emotions onto it. I also don't want to make you feel like you got to go in completely blind, but I think it would benefit you to just cut the video off right here, right now, if you've not seen only but just the first season, or you've only played the first game. Because what the beats that we're about to go into are really heavy, and they make up a lot of why the game functionally is still resonant now. But one thing that I'll say is that one of the things that hurt the second game is that people knew about stuff ahead of time, and they made their preconceived notions about it, and it caused a lot of toxicity. And what we don't have to do with this, and using this channel as a platform, we don't want to recreate that same exact situation. We want you to go in cold, because that's what we would have wanted. Some of us got spoiled, some of us didn't, and we still had to reap the benefits and the unfortunate rewards of people being very toxic. So if you can, go ahead and cut it off right now, come back to it. I promise you, you'll thank us later. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. So last chance, spoilers, adios if you haven't experienced it. Okay, y'all. First is this. I think we're looking at a therapy session.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
definitely his therapist, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think this is they're switching off potentially the opening.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to just take it to the Fireflies. You cross the country with someone that changes you. Catherine O'Hara, as I think a member of the Jackson City, telling Joel that, like, okay, what's bugging you, what's probably got you in the state of mind is that you have to let go of what you're holding back, no matter how bad it is. If you don't, it's going to eat you up and destroy you within. So just let it out and see what comes out afterwards. And I love that the weight of just two people talking is palpable with those few shots. I think for a lot of us, and I mea culpa, I'll say that, like, at first thought when they cast Catherine, I for sure thought she was gonna be the Seraphites like leader and the person who started the evolution of what the Seraphites would be eventually. Accept her love, either all that stuff. So how do you feel about what we got out of that first shot?
Oh man, well, yeah, and I think going back to the whole thing that we said about sound, right? And how important music and the sound is, especially in this trailer. I think it's kind of calling back to the issue that Joel had in season 1, right? Where he was having like heart palpitations and he's like essentially having a mini stroke. And so I think that leads into him meeting this character and needing the therapy to better himself. And maybe he's just going to try better all around, just for the benefit of not only his brother and the town, but of course Ellie. So I think that plays a lot into it, but it is interesting to think of because I was also on board with that idea that maybe she's the leader. And I mean, I wouldn't completely rule her out yet. Maybe there's some potential for it, but yeah, it seems like a different course than what we initially thought, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah.
How does the round table feel of Joel going through this? Because we can put together the time between stuff and how he picks up his hobbies, he does the wooding, he does the guitars and whatnot. So I would have for sure thought that at a certain point he had to connect with the community. That's what happens when you live for 5 years in a community that you don't, especially in this time period. I find it very, very a challenge if you very seclude yourself. I don't blame you, but the fact that now he's opening up and he's talking to people, and how do we feel about that element being brought up?
I honestly, I hate to be really morbid about this. I think that this therapist is helping him try to reconnect with his humanity. And I think the reasons why he's probably, picked up certain traits is, of course, some of it's for Ellie, to, earn his way back to her. But I think that he knew this is also breaking him up inside too. And so I think that certain aspects of talking with her leads him down this road that we know. And I think, unfortunately, even though it's making him be a better person for Ellie, I think it's going to make him vulnerable to helping somebody later on down the line. I think that because of these therapy sessions, he's like, you know what, I'm going to do the right thing. Like, this person is in need. I'm going to help them. I'm not going to leave them behind. I'm not going to kill them because of safety reasons. And it's going to be so tragic, because I think that this therapy that he's having is going to lead him to meet his end, basically. I really do. I think it's so because the way they form it in the trailer, it feels like that's where it all leads to. So yeah, I hate to be morbid, but I think it's going to lead him to Abby for sure.
Yeah.
I
Anybody
also
else?
think, I was gonna say, I also think him being more potentially involved with the community of Jackson is then gonna make, what happens to him hit a little bit harder for all of Jackson.
Yeah.
Because, in the game, after the event, you go to his house and there's just flowers and stuff all over the place. So like you assume like that he was at least somewhat involved with the community. I guess if you get to see a little bit more of that,
Yeah.
you get to feel more pain pretty much for everyone in Jackson, and not just like Ellie and Tommy and everything. So I think that's going to make it hit a little bit harder, and then maybe we'll see like more people from Jackson also kind of want to rise up with Ellie to go after Abby and everybody else, which could be interesting. Because you have that interesting shot of like Maria and Tommy later on. Sorry to kind of jump ahead, but
Yeah.
where like Tommy's kind of a little bloody and he's like, like hugging Maria, like maybe Maria gets into it. I don't know. Like, could be interesting.
Anybody else? Thoughts on this session potentially helping Joel, but also starting the road to doom, as Sam pointed out, that like the inevitable fate.
So the as I said in the non-spoiler, there's two things that I have always had an issue with, and pertaining to a Naughty Dog, anything in a Naughty Dog franchise, and to only have two is commendable to him, but it is Joe's demise and Abby. Now I think they fixed Abby, because if who we saw was Abby in the trailer, she looks a heck of a lot better than how they covered her in the game, because she was, I didn't know if that was China from the WWE or whatever. She just didn't look that great. But I think that's how they fixed that one. Hindsight now being 2020 on the trailer that we just saw, going through the game with Sam, if this is how they're showing if this therapist is within that 5-year time frame where he, like you said, Ronan is trying to make it back up to Ellie and also open himself up to the community, even though that would probably lead to his demise through his encounter with Abby, I think that fixes what we saw in the game. Because what we saw in the game, they just hit us with it, and if all pun intended. I mean, they basically swung for the fences, or at least tried to get an eagle.
There we go.
Swing away.
There we go.
Anyway, I mean, they definitely didn't go 5 below par. So the issue, the thing for me though is, I think the season, if this is how we're seeing it, and we're seeing it in the early onset, and Joe's demise comes either midway through the season, I think this is how they fix. And I would hazard a guess, not betting any money, but I would hazard a guess that because, as Sam said, of all the controversy and everything around the game that made the gaming environment, the gaming community around this game pretty toxic, I think this is their attempt at fixing that, but doing it through the HBO series, which I think is actually pretty damn genius. So if they do that, if they portray this the way they're showing it, and we get to see something that builds up to, the PGA Golf Tour that happened with Joe, I think we'll be okay, and it will actually put a nice wrap up or bow to a lot of what happened in the gaming community around this game due to the spoilers and that stuff. So I'm rescinding my previous thing, and I think there's hope. I think there's a lot that's going to come with this season too that's going to give us a little hope and maybe rekindle that love, and eradicate all that toxicity grime we got from the second game. Yeah, I think it'll be a. I think they won't need a mulligan for it.
Mikey,
I had to jump into the PlayStation world and give him the shaking my head because those it's too soon. We just saw the trailer, man. It hit too close to home, I wonder everybody not only get their HBO but their golf club, memberships, as well. So because they're going on sale. They're going on sale for I think about $250 a year. Now they have an annual fee, but sometimes also they have quarterly as well. But yeah, you can go get that because when this show comes up, the price is gonna go on increase because of interest. Anyway, I just want to say,
glad Busy's not here. He'd be crying.
Anyway, I'll just say this: as someone in terms of therapy, I think this is the reason why I love film, why I became, film critic and journalist and stuff. I feel there's a lot of things that in storytelling we can feel that also be a reflection of ourselves. And what we're seeing, today now with different media, like IP and everything, that they're so focused on, there's not really the bad guy and the good guy. There's more. We're all have done things we're not proud of in our lives, and it might be dealing with also a sense of self-worth, a sense of guilt we might have of ourselves, unforgiveness, but also how we better ourselves for people that we love. And I feel like when we go through those situations and how when watching these stories being told, it's almost a reflection, like, you know what? Okay, well, I mean, I didn't do what Joel did, but hey, I might be holding some, grief up in here or something, or something like that. And watching the story, it helps us, feel stories like this helps us impact it, and everything. So I feel like with The Last of Us 2, when the game came out, I felt it was such a human reaction where I felt like to have a therapist in this setting for this show, to now watch it cinematically play out in a way, I feel people are going to look back what happened a few years ago and realize, was my response what do you call it? Not only was it predetermined, was it reckless, or was it actually standing on, it reconfirms what I felt back then? Because I feel like some people, hopefully, when they watch the show, how this stories play out, is that now they're looking back how they originally felt when they played the game years ago and realized, you know what? Now I understand. Mm-hmm. What bothered me back then probably doesn't bother me now. I now understand now why I felt, the way I did, and what the game developers, the writers, what they intended for the audience to feel.
Well,
which is
no, I think no. I think that Mike is on to something very interesting, and I think that when me and Ty were playing it together, quote unquote, one of the things that was really jarring is you play through the lens of someone, and then you're forced into the lens of someone else. And so as opposed to it being a linear arc, it's non-linear, right? But in the framing of this, if they do it right, they can really allow a natural progression to happen for us to get adjusted to Abby and everything surrounding her.
Yep.
Because, I mean, even looking at the trailer and the way that they did the trailer, I was like, dang, that's a deep cut. Like, what have you done? And then it goes right to her face, right? And I was like, if they make that smooth transition that way and allow us to unpack her, or even what would be even crazier, and again, I don't know how they're going to do this. If one of the first shots of this is Abby finding her dad, right? Like, who finds the dad? Who witnessed all this? Like, who's the person? Like, we don't know. So I think there are ways within this series to truly holistically help the narrative for everybody. And I think maybe some of us to be at a hill, because some of us didn't get that kind of clarity at all. Like, some of us are still traumatized here. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but see, it's a group therapy session we're doing right now. But I do think that there, like what Mike is saying is absolutely correct. There are ways that this can really be very much more better than what everybody was hoping for.
Because you don't want to be in the lens of like being in someone else's shoes. Like we saw the game reactions like immediately when they did that shift of switching and playing to a different character. Folks like, I'm not playing this. I'm not, I'm not doing it. And they literally, chopping up their PlayStation disc and stuff like that, cut it with scissors, throw it away. Like, I felt that's the human reaction, but honestly, thinking about ourselves, and this person might have hurt me, and I'm just talking about real life. This person might have hurt me back when we were in high school. Now we're grown adults. I've gone through stuff. They've gone through stuff. Now here's a high school reunion 10 years later. Hey, I forgive you. I now understand. You know what you did? Guess what? I did that to somebody else, and I actually understand. Hey, what I did probably was a mistake, and that person is still dealing with unforgiveness towards me. But now I have the opportunity to forgive you for what you did to me. So, boom. And that's maturity. I feel that, now I'm not saying, it goes to question of our things or some things are unforgiving or not, whatever. We've all done things we're not proud of. But I think to actually be in someone else's shoes and seeing a different perspective is what I felt The Last of Us 2 was. That was the huge message that I think they challenged us as a gaming community to realize, okay, how are we seeing things from a different perspective when today we're so polarizing and so laser focused and not being receive any type of other perspective on any narrative or any type of position and everything, but to seek understanding and to seek the other perspective, and I think is the pathway to actual solutions, and actually unity. And I feel like with this story, I think they have opportunity to do that and to hopefully redeem what I felt they had a missed opportunity with the game years ago with Abby's character. Is that now I hope that officially people are like, you know what, I understand Abby now. That's my big thing. I really hope that they see with this show.
Empathy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of empathy and joy, I got a kick out of seeing this shot and being like, there's the town, and y'all, I hope Gustavo's somewhere in there playing a banjo.
I know. That'd be so
I was
great.
walking past. Yeah, like
with the little pooch.
Yeah, little dog. Yeah. Which I think transitions to something that's a big part of this game is music and guitars and our connection with guitars. Yeah. And man,
why didn't they play Take on Me?
This feels like this is the shot out of the game, and also almost like concept art.
Yeah,
what was that?
That's the shot of the trailer for me.
I mean,
don't say that. Don't say that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm trying to count how many.
Don't do that. We're not doing that. We're not doing. We're not.
Yeah, I think what's funny about this shot is like people who don't play the game is like you could have missed this. Like if you didn't go exploring Seattle like a lot of us did, you could have missed this moment. And it's sort of like a little Easter egg, if you will, but it's Easter egg, and yet it's a big pivotal moment between two characters and they're connected to it. Gianni, when you see that and you say that's the shot for you of the trailer?
Yeah, just straight out of the game. Like even like the lighting and everything. Like it's just like straight out of the game.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, like you said, that's honestly my favorite Ellie and Dina moment from the entire game. Like, there's some good scenes with the two of them, but that's the one, especially the fact that you could just miss it is insane.
Yeah.
I think it does so much for their relationship, and it's just like a much needed, like, nice moment during a really bad part of the game where it's just like, dude, I want to cry. Then that happens. You're like, well, now I want to cry for a good reason. That was beautiful. So yeah, I'm happy that they chose to just keep that in, because I mean, it's not like a necessary moment technically, but it kind of just goes to show that, like, Neil and Craig, like, they know what needs to be in there. Like,
So-
that's a very important character moment.
So did they specifically state in any of the interviews or anything that this is going to be a full 5-year time jump, or are we going to have moments in between? Like, I don't want to miss the spaceship moment. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious because
that's got to be there.
Are they gonna fast forward this up front, or is it gonna be kind of like a linear, like, progression, like the first few episodes? I'm just curious.
So I think they might do the nonlinear stuff, but they had to shoot stuff now before either somebody gets older or someone's schedule gets occupied, like Pedro's is right now. Like, you could tell the shots of older Joel and then younger Joel. And then I think what they did kind of intriguing was that, like, they probably, if I was to bet, some of those shots of Joe and Ellie with the guitar was shot immediately after season 1. They're like, okay, let's shoot this now because he's got Gladiator and Fantasy Four stuff. If you look back at the first official photos they dropped, you know, Joe at the Jackson dance and you know, Ellie with a shotgun. Behind Joel, there's a sign of, like, Happy New Year, Happy Christmas 2029 or 28 something. So if you do the 20-year jump from 2003 in this timeline, and then you add 5 years, it matches up perfectly with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they keep that. But again, in a TV show, going back and forth times in episodes and how it's going to take more than a season to do this story, it's going to be the very interesting element of, like, how nonlinear are you going to go, or how linear are you going to stay with the season thus far, because TV is different. And I know it was almost sometimes the kind of the joke for Arrow, where it's like, okay, another flashback, another, you know, thing to go about. And so I think they're gonna do both. And if they're gonna be faithful to a lot of the events that's occurring, which what we've been seeing is true, I would be shocked if they stayed away from the non-linear element too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Seeing Isabella as Dina, I don't know about y'all, but I do want them to go into that it was a synagogue, if you will, or where they found all the stuff. When I remember that was another sweet moment. I'm like, oh, there's a little of Dina's life, and you hear about her sister and whatnot. And I was just like, it'd be cool if Arrow, Chainsaw, hi Chainsaw, if it would be cool if he spent some time, and, like, if they find a photo of young Dina and her sister, I kind of really hope it's Shannon Woodward, who's her older sister. It'd be a cool little homage to, like, that Dina from the game is Dina's older sister in the TV show and whatnot. Which I think the next few shots, the lead after this, is this.
Dude, oh my God.
This is the most boldest shot. This and this one. These were the two shots that I was just like, what the hell are you doing? Like, do you do you realize what you're doing, putting those shots out, and the fact that they shot that already?
Triggered. So triggered.
Actually, I take back my comment. That was a shot of the trailer. My bad.
That right.
The other one was the happiest shot of the trailer. That was the shot, though.
Put the picture up again, Rona, real quick.
Look at that.
Dude.
Yeah, that's the shot of the trailer right there. That right there is the shot of the trailer.
That's gonna break my whole heart, bro. It's hurting right now to look at it.
Yeah, my jaw dropped when I saw that. I was like, oh, we're here. Okay.
That was the one thing that I was just like, you're really putting me through this right now, and I have to stay quiet before I even get to that. And, like, we probably won't even get to that in this season. Wow, how would a bold move it would be if they shot this? They showed it now, but, like, we're not gonna show you that till, like, another season or two afterwards.
Yeah, I think if I had
Or-
to choose one thing, that if I could choose the one scene or whatever that they did not change from the game, I think it would be anything relating to the porch. I
Yeah.
think both parts, like the obviously the part that you deal with near the beginning of the game, but also the ending, if you will.
Yeah.
I would not touch that. Needs to stay intact.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel it has to stay intact. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they did an alternative version of the porch, because this shows Ellie and Joel are similar but a little bit different than the game ones. What was sweet about season 1 is how Joel opened up about how it was him who put the gun in his head and whatnot, and how he was willing to open up about that. If y'all don't know, there's a little trivia for those who know about the making of that scene of the porch. And I'll tell you this. They shot a version where it's, it's, again, very heavy spoiler, where it's, Ellie says, I would like to try. And Joel gets emotional. She gets emotional. And he says, I like that. And she says, okay. And it's a little echo of her okay from the ending of the first game in season 1. And then she just walks off. She goes away. And that's it. That was the last thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they did what they did, which people don't know. They shot a version where Ellie rushes Joel and hugs her very quick, and then runs off. And that was the last thing she did. She hugged him. She finally hugged him, as far as we had known at that time, and runs off. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did that for that show's version, and just it's the last stab into the heart, and be like.
I mean, that scene already makes me cry every single time I watch it. If they do that, I don't think I'll be able to recover physically and emotionally. That porch scene makes me cry harder than the event. That porch scene is frame it, hang it on a wall. It belongs in a museum. It is probably my favorite scene in the entire franchise, if I'm being honest. It is perfectly written and acted.
Yeah, even that last flicker at the very, very, very end after the fight with Abby, you get that little sliver of an image, and there's no sound. Again, the sound element, you don't hear anything, and that destroys me. You want to talk about destroy? Oh, that one really gets me.
I think we gotta talk about that sound cue.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so
Bro, are you fucking kidding me?
So yes, so for those who didn't pick it up, because I was just okay, at first I was it's like Storm, but I'm like, no. That's how bad it was for me, how traumatic it was, that I put it back in my memory. And so until I saw it the second time, I think, and I heard it, I was like, oh no. And I remember just tossing my chair out and be like, you fuckers, how dare you put this down here? And so for those who can't recall and didn't catch that, the sound cue of the sound going away and no music, nothing, it's when the final blow hits Joel. Yeah. And you can barely hear Ellie crying and whatnot, and that was what a bold move, Cotton. That is.
Yeah,
wild,
I had a
man.
literal fucking flashback as soon as that audio cut and you hear just the ringing. I was like, dude, fuck you. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, that's when I was almost about to cry, because I was like, they didn't even have to show anything.
Yeah,
it's just that sound. I was like, bro, I don't want to hear that sound, because I know what's happening when I hear that sound. It's not nice things.
Yeah.
Every time that sound plays in the game, something horrendous is happening. Exactly. You have the event, the PTSD in the barn, and then the flash of him when she's choking out Abby. You can't just drop that sound on me out of nowhere, bro. I was like, I'm in public. I'm going to cry. What's happening?
And it's an artistic choice where they drop it at the tail end, where it's oh, hey, this is all the sweet stuff that's happening between then now, and then shit's gonna hit the fucking fan.
Oh, you thought The Last of Us was nice? No.
That was, I think, the one thing that I do appreciate about this Last of Us series on HBO is when they do these trailers or these promotional ads or everything, they always drop something subtly, very subtle, for the gamers, for the folks that were truly invested.
Yeah.
And for them to be so bold as to drop that soundbite in this trailer, that was for no one else but the gamers.
Yeah.
And as jacked the fuck up as it is, it's also incredibly brilliant, because now folks are really going to sit there and think, oh my God, are they going to show it this season? Like,
Yeah.
because honestly, that's of all the stuff that they're going to do with this season, his demise is basically at the peak. Anything
Yeah.
else basically revolves around his demise.
Yeah.
And for them to drop that nonchalantly in the trailer, the amount of emotional damage for those who have really invested in this game, like, and I'm telling you, me and Sam going through that, after it was done, we literally walked away for the night. We were done for the night. Like, we were done for the night. We could not go any further. Like, and honestly, hearing that sound took me right back to that moment. And like I told Sam asked me if I had seen the trailer, and I had said no, because I don't think I was ready for the emotional impact I felt they were going to bring. And I honestly think if I wasn't watching it here with you all, I might not have ever watched it. I may have just waited until the actual show came out, because it is
bold move, Ty.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's honestly, in my gaming career, this Joel is up there with Aerith's death.
Damn.
Like, if we really want to go ham, if we
It's
really
there
want to go
for
ham,
Spock's death for me as well. That one also is another one that
Spock's death. You know, in terms of our nerd community, yes. For the gaming community specifically,
yes.
His demise is literally up there with Aerith's demise in Final Fantasy VII. There's literally nothing that has hit, in my opinion, that hard since until this death. There have been many, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away from any other deaths or any other demises that we have seen in gaming. We have seen some heavy ones, but Joel's demise is literally up there with Aerith's death in Final Fantasy VII, and I just wasn't ready. I don't even know when it comes out if I'll be ready for it in the season. You know, I might not watch that episode.
I want to say something as more of a precaution. I agree with everything that Ty just said. I caution us as creators, journalists, critics, whatever we are on this panel right here, to be careful of our narrative. What I mean by that is there's a possible chance that Neil and Chris don't have Joel's death in this season.
Mm-hmm.
And what I don't want is, you know, for this moment now to have people build up like, oh God, it's coming. Yeah. And it be like The Walking Dead. Season 6 transition to season 7.
Fair point.
Oh no,
and
man.
What I'm saying is that if we're not really careful, we're gonna feel the same exact weight because we're like building, anticipating. If the last thing we see is all of a sudden like Abby's like saying something to him and they just close the door and they cut the season, we gotta just be in the moment. We have to enjoy the process of how this is going to be unpacked. Because truth be told, there's no way they can finish the second game in one season.
No way.
So we just don't know how they're going to transition stuff. So if they do it this season, cool. But I stress you guys that are listening to us and even everybody here on this panel, if for some reason they don't, like, let's just trust the process. Like, like it's going to suck. Yeah. And it's easier us to go ahead and just deal with the trauma really quickly than to have to like, wait for it. But, and I don't think that Neil or Chris are trying to milk it. I don't think if they don't do it this season, it's not because they're trying to milk it. It's a reason. Yeah. And so I just say that we should just trust the process, regardless if it does happen this season or if it happens next season. And we should encourage our audience, our viewers, to be like, you guys, trust and believe there's reasons, and let's just wait for it. Let's just wait for it. As harmony is going to be for us emotionally.
So I wholeheartedly agree. I will also add as an adage to it that this particular section is the spoiler section.
Yes.
If you have been fairly warned in the beginning that this is the spoiler section. So unless you have done, as has been stated by Ronan and by Sam and any of us here that agree, if you have not played the second game, if you have not been in the lore of Last of Us, as we have been through these games, and you have not seen what we are discussing, you shouldn't even be at this point right now, because we are talking to the folks who have seen it all and should in no way, shape, or form be affected by our opinions, build up or otherwise, in the spoiler section, because you have already been privy to everything that occurred for us to talk about it here. Your access is based on what you have ingested as content. So if you haven't seen it, you should not be here right now.
Messing with us.
So,
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree with Sam's statement. Don't get me wrong, but I believe his statement applies to when we do non-spoiler or regular reviews that do not go into the details of the lore as we know it. So if you are at this point and you're listening to us and you have not seen what we have seen in terms of the game content, you have done this to yourself.
Yeah, guys.
Ronan has done his due diligence and his justice by giving you double spoiler warning alerts prior to our discussion.
Yeah.
So please understand, if you want to really understand what we're talking about from the spoiler warning to now, it is imperative that you go back and play the game and go through that experience. If you have not done so, you should not be where we are in the actual podcast right now. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and you guys that have played the game and do know what's coming, just ride the wave, guys.
Yeah.
Like, don't be too eager for something damning to happen, but just enjoy the moment. Like, enjoy the moment. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I'll say this: I'm eager to enjoy the moments with another ally of the Jackson community and of Ellie and Dina, which is Jesse, played by Young Mazzino.
Yes.
Seeing him like that, I was like, "Yo, there's a homie."
Jesse.
Another favorite quote of mine: "My friends' problems are my problems." I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
that's the
Jesse
homie
the
right
ride or
there."
die, man. Jesse the ride or die.
Did anybody here watch Beef?
Yes, I did.
He was so
I've
good
seen
on
that several times. I love
so
it.
great. Yeah, I was so glad when he got cast. It was perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He really is.
And
Mike, we can't hear
Spike,
you.
I think you're muted.
Sorry.
There you go.
I was saying that I was late on Beef, but when I was watching Beef, me and my wife were watching it. That's when he got cast, and it was like I just finished the show, and then they announced he got cast like right as we got to the last episode. I was like, absolutely, go ahead, yes, yeah.
Someone who, when they got cast, I was like, this is perfect casting, and yet I'm gonna do my damnedest to be protective. And again, we've said it multiple times. I don't want to keep repeating it onward, but I'm gonna just say it again, folks. Be respectful, mind your manners, and like Sam said, ride the wave. I'm riding the wave. I think Mike said it earlier. I might digest the story better through the show than I did with the game. And that's bringing the talent, the incredible talent that is Caitlin Dever as Abby.
Yes.
The ponytail, the little dog tags I could see. I'll say this, y'all. I can't wait for her. Manners make it man. I can't wait for her to meet up with two other cool characters down the line, and that's where I'm gonna finally like that. I've always said it. That's the part that made me connect with Abby, was when that happened. And I'm not gonna be losing sleep over this stuff, but let me tell y'all that I'm gonna do my damnedest to like be very protective, if you will, of seeing how people interact with her and social media onwards. And I feel like her talent has earned that, and she's already in the Naughty Dog family. Another cool trivia for those who don't know: she's Sarah Drake, if I'm not mistaken. She's Nathan Drake's daughter in Uncharted 4. So like,
oh wow,
she's in the Naughty Dog family.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Yeah,
That's pretty
At
awesome.
the end of the game, yeah, that's her. And someone who I am excited, and I hope they expand on what we knew of the character from a visual point of view. Because again, folks, this game you had to also discover, find clues and details and whatnot. But Isaac, played
Oh,
by D.
God,
Jeffrey
dude.
Wright,
So
Yes.
that's
The
Please.
legend.
The legend.
Listen,
Commissioner
Incredible.
Gordon himself. Yeah,
Commissioner
Let me
Gordon,
tell
the
you.
Watcher.
yeah.
They call me Peoples.
they call me people. Listen, when you put Jeffrey Wright in anything, anything, two things are going to happen. It's going to be entertainment gold, or you have that one diamond in the rough of what you have given him. Jeffrey Wright is beyond a shadow of a doubt one of the best actors in the business. This is the guy that told you the story of Uncle Nearest alcohol, and it sounded like it could have been an epic trailer to a movie. The man is that good. The man
American
is that
Fiction.
good.
Yeah.
I am telling you, the man is that good. I cannot wait to see him in this series. And I am fully in agreement with Ronan about Abby. Abby's probably the person I'm most excited about, because I want to see how she takes this character and puts it to the screen. And you cannot, and although I know some people are not going to listen to this because they are just completely and totally stuck on their own, agenda, trolling and everything else, but you cannot truly compare the two. You can compare the content of how they're portrayed, but the actor who is going to play Abby is in no way, shape, or form deserving of the vitriol that has already come based on a imaginary character brought to life by a gaming screen. Let's not do that, people.
The baggage, yeah.
These people are paid to portray these characters, and if you are going to judge them based on how they portray the character in that actual theatric environment. Do not come with your own perceptions on the character from the game to this person. What we learned from the first season is that people, even from Pedro Pascal all the way through to the characters of the first season, they brought their own, even though it's plucked straight from the game, they brought their own flavor to these characters.
Yeah.
Even some of the voice actors who are playing different roles in the series brought their flavor to those characters. So, and we're in the spoiler piece. Troy Baker brought his flavor to his character, and he was not being joked. Like, this is my point. Judge these actors based on what they bring to the character in the theatric environment they're in. Do not bring the toxicity. Do not bring the preconceived notions. We're going to have them, yes, but use that to put it to the side and just look at this show for what it is. It is a television show based on a video game, not the video game itself.
Yeah.
And do exactly what my brother Sam said and ride the dang wave.
Yeah, and I'm gonna show this one last few images. Images of the trailer, and then but before we do that, I want to show this. So the person that was holding this, not that, never mind. The person that was like looking at the horde, is it me or is that what's his name that was in the outpost that had all the weed?
Eugene, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was
I feel
thinking
like-
too. I think Eugene's alive. I don't think he's dead. I think he's in his secret sex dungeon with his, with his weed. I don't think he's dead. I think he's watching Smash Brandy's cooch down there with a joint. And he's like, "Yo, what's going on outside, dude?" And he just goes and sees that. No, that's Eugene, bro. I thought that too. I was like, "There's no way."
That's wild.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
So good.
I think that Eugene is going to be in there, and it was cool to see Tommy and Maria there, and just seeing. I almost want to see how are they doing because
Yeah,
Kid was on the way.
Yeah.
So is that
I
how's
didn't
that?
even think about that. Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
God.
I just need. I'm gonna say this now. I need snowball fights,
Mhm.
and not to be pun, but because of this podcast name, I need people throwing bottles and bricks to avoid clickers and get out
Yes.
scenarios. If we don't have that after this story that's gonna take more than one season, y'all are missing an opportunity there
Mhm.
to sprinkle in just a little bit of the spice flavors.
Just one
Uh,
bottle,
Get that
just
Salt
one
Bay
brick,
in there. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
just a little,
yeah.
just something.
And speaking of spice, the way this trailer ends, days of you and me. Like
Oh my God.
like I seen this man's face like that. I fuck man. Like
Oh,
And I need his dad joke.
yes.
I need his dad joke at
Yeah.
the end, right before the title drop. Like that scene too. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We were setting ourselves up for traumatic,
Dude.
emotion.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
we're not
absolutely.
setting ourselves up.
I will not be
It's
okay.
already there. It's already there.
Yeah,
No.
I'm just
we're
reawakening
already
it.
there. We're just cutting open the healed wound and throwing some Salt Bay in there.
Salt in there.
Yeah.
All in there.
Oh yeah, maybe a little bit of bleach too.
Trauma,
Trauma Bay.
pressure,
Trauma Bay.
emotional damage.
Damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna conclude our talk with the trailer. Unless anybody else has any extra final thoughts on the trailer itself.
Did they show Liv in this trailer?
Left.
Love no.
but they
We did see
showed
Seraphites.
See
Yeah.
the scars.
Okay, I saw like I think one Seraphite. It was just one,
Mhm.
right?
Feels like
Yeah.
the same one too. Like
Well,
I
there
don't
was
think that they've shown.
yeah, there was one
many of them.
Seraphite, and I'm pretty sure the guy that was being tortured could potentially have been a Seraphite
Mm,
with Isaac.
true. With Isaac, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
And
think
we
it's a
saw
good
that-
opening for her later. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I
I
feel
think
like
that's the official trailer is when you see the two kids and you're like, oh, there they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw like that one shot of like that body just being like dragged by a horse,
By the horse. Yeah.
which is
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
Seraphite activities. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
rainy in the grass. I was like, oh, that might be when Ellie kind of just so happens to stumble onto a couple of them. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, great.
I
Another-
have a
another
question.
thing-
Are we
Go.
going to see the Rat King?
Oh, absolutely. That might be next season, but we will see it. I think you have to.
Requirement. I
Yeah,
need
it has to happen.
I need
They
it.
have to do the Shamblers before that because Shamblers is
Right.
the next evolution before they do the Rat King.
Yeah.
And are they going to do it practical or are they going to do mocap? That's a good
that's
question.
what
Like,
I wanna see.
That's
That's
the
it.
question.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
gonna
a
be the
really
trick.
Gotta
good
be
question.
partial, like
Oh my
yeah. I think when I just saw the movie, was it the substance? Yeah, they gotta do some practical, bro.
yeah.
It'll probably be
Okay.
like a mix if I had to guess. Like they'll probably
Yeah.
have some practical stuff and might enhance it with CG.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's what they did with the bloater, right? From season one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can
it
I-
was
can I
mostly
just-
practical, but
Can I just ask them not, and this is more so for the series. Can we just not get can we just not get the quote unquote romantic scene with Abby? We don't need it.
I'm okay with it. I'm
We
okay
don't
with
need
it.
it.
It's
We don't need it.
it's a thing.
They
I
can
won't.
do
I'll,
it, just
I'll,
not in that way.
I'll say this. We'll
No, I just
we'll do this.
so-
We'll do this.
We're done.
No. I'll say this.
it's
Is
a
that
one-
what we'll
it's
talk
a
about that
one-
later down the line. I
Yeah.
don't think unless they show in the trailer. I doubt it. It's HBO though.
no.
We'll talk about that when the show
comes.
comes out. But I'll just say this: is that element? I've always thought that like it's a thematic moment. It's a moment of evolution for the character, and I'm gonna leave it at that for that scene.
I really like Owen too. So
Yes,
Cool
and we
with
didn't
him.
see any of them.
Yeah, Owen
here.
is cool.
yeah, Owen was the only person out of Abby's group where I was like,
I
you
was
know,
cool with. Yeah,
he's kind of doing some fucked up shit, but I kind of like the guy.
got
I
moral
kind of
lines,
like
yeah.
him.
I'll say this: the knife and the
Oh,
sink
man.
cleaning up. I am
Mhm.
pretty damn sure that's after Nora.
I
I'm
think
pretty
so.
sure
too.
that's
Oh, yeah.
that's this happening and then
The handshaking. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oof.
Mhm.
Oh God.
Mm.
Cinema.
I will
I-
say this: what I was hoping for the trailer, just specifically on the trailer, when they showed her playing in that lush scene, I was actually hoping they were going to take that part and have it at the end and just do a little bit of Take On Me right
Oof.
there. That would have been it for me.
But that's
They're
ironic because he did that last year with the trailers. We were like, wait,
Yeah.
why is it playing Take On Me here? Like, what the heck?
Exactly. Like
This is
that's
part 2
what,
stuff.
like that to me takes this trailer from an A+ to an A, which is literally nothing. That's the
All right.
only thing
Yeah,
that did it for me. But other than that, the trailer was absolutely wonderful. I'm kind of sorry I held out so long, but
That's okay. I think that wraps up most of the trailer talk. And I want to conclude this with this was a good Last of Us day in comparison to last year, where it was just like
Oh yeah.
a couple of drop, merches, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, come on now, like you could have done better than this. This was a good day of celebration, I think, for a lot of the fans, and I hope the Last of Us Day evolves more and becomes way more connected. When I doubt they're watching this, but I have crazy ideas of how you could bring in fans, content creators into this and spread the word more. That way it does become, in essence, its own May the 4th, if you will, and be more than that. And does anybody have any final thoughts on the Last of Us Day merch you might be getting, hopes for other stuff? Any final thoughts on that?
The only thought I have is like this might be one of the only Last of Us days in recent memory where I was literally thinking about The Last of Us the entire day. So mission accomplished. Because like last year it's like, oh cool, shirts. Okay.
Yeah.
But my mind has just been utterly consumed by The Last of Us today. So it was a very exciting day.
Yeah.
I want some of these posters. I'm not gonna lie. These posters are actually freaking dope.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
So good.
It's so amazing.
Look at the watch, dude.
It's
Look
so
at the
great.
moth and the switchblade and Bella. Oh my god.
yeah, that's awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Is that Ellie? Wait, who's being?
That's
carried
Abby.
at the bottom of it?
that's Abby.
That's Abby, and I think that's a clicker underneath, or maybe
No,
it's Joel and Ellie.
she's carrying some. He's carrying.
Oh my god, yeah, it's Joel carrying
Carrying
Ellie out of the
Oh, yeah,
hospital.
it is.
Oh my god, with the
Yo, they're gonna show it, bro.
Dude.
Oh snap! I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
That wolf.
That wolf is fire too.
Oh,
These posters are these posters are fucking slappers, dude. They
Greg
went
Ruth.
crazy.
Bravo,
Yeah.
Greg Ruth, bravo.
Yeah, nah,
You see the
They're so
moth
good.
in there?
Yeah.
Switchblade.
And the switchblade, like it's just beautiful.
It's
Oh
great.
my god.
the watch, and the
The
guitar.
watch.
Oh my god, the guitar. I didn't notice the guitar. Oh my god. Yeah, I need them all. All right, I want them all. I'll buy them all. That's fine. Put them up.
It's so good.
Yeah, today has really, and I'll tell you all after we close out, but Last of Us Day, especially doing this particular this podcast segment, really is helping me with something which I'll talk to you all about after. But I really appreciate, Ronnie, you letting me come on to participate in this particular section of Bottles and Bricks, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. That's what when I talked to Sam about this, is that like I always said, I want this podcast to be like friends hanging out, whether it be the D&D style or other stuff. It's recording the stuff, and then if it starts growing, I want people from across the world to chime in and tell us how are they handling the Last of Us franchise on their end, and how is that country or nation, if you will, how do they feel about this stuff? And that's something that it's always been on my mind, like expanding to a set, design wise, and just like I want to see if the franchise isn't doing it right now, I want to see what happened in Outbreak Day in Mexico, or what happened in Japan, or what happened in Brazil. I know a friend of ours, Elise, who was streaming today. I was like, what happened there, and just how did the Brazilian fans experience the franchise in that regard? And that's what I love about podcasts. It's just like shoot the shit. It's the AV club in high school that we never got to have, or I never got to have. But yeah, good day today for Last of Us fans.
Mm-hmm.
let's go to the line and plug your stuff, plug your podcast, articles, business, the whole shebang, channels, where people can find you. Dai, where can people find you?
DAIKOU. That's me, Daiko. And so I have a podcast called A Stark Contrast, where a friend of mine talk about Marvel characters from the comics to the big screen. Because I'm a comic book fan. I've been a comic book fan since I was 8. So that's my thing. And so, yeah, find me there. STRKCNTRST.
Beautiful. Gianni?
I mean, I'm not as active as I should be, but Johnny Bravo 6, I'm usually playing Fortnite and acting like a moron streaming games. That's kind of it. Yeah, I don't know, it's brain rot, but it's fun.
Beautiful. Mr. 1,000 plus subs, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Jedi Mike 7. Again, I do reviews on Marvel comic books and stuff like that. Breakdown videos, as well as interviews that drop. Be posting later soon as well. But yeah, we crossed 1,000 subscribers. Thank y'all for your support.
Nice.
Yeah, you can find me there on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that at Jedi Mike 7. Hit notification bell. Yes.
Beautiful. Ty?
Hey, yeah. So you see it right there at Ty Nitty, on the Elon Musketeer and Ty Nitty 2180 on Instagram. I should be doing a little more on YouTube, but I've actually ceased and desist that for a minute because I have some things in the work that are about to come to fruition within the next 30 days. So you probably won't find me there after a month, but I will be good enough to let everybody know where I will be prior to me making the adjustment on my accounts. But for now, you can find me at Ty Nitty on the Tweety Bird and Ty Nitty 2180 on the gram with Insta. So and happy National Hispanic Month, man, 2024, man.
Thank you.
Let me put that out. Let me put that out there.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. Sam?
De nada.
Hermano?
Hey, what's going on, you guys? You can find me on Team JVS. I mean, this is my social media. Like, you can find me on pretty much every social media under Super SEL 0320. But we've got a lot of coverage. We've got reactions messing with this guy, Ronan and Busy, on TikTok and on YouTube. But if you want to see like our anime content, it's on TikTok. If you want to see our interviews, it's on TikTok. Primarily our discussions, reviews, and breakdowns of everything, whether it's Superman and Lois, whether it's Penguin, whether it's, I don't know. It's all on YouTube
Agatha,
as well as everywhere else. You know what? We're not going to talk about that. Down. But yeah, definitely, guys. Follow all our content on Team JVS. Thanks, Ronan.
Yeah. This is good. This feels right. But yeah, folks, the trailer reaction is up on the channel. I go check it out. Also, they say this for the meantime. If you want to wait till season 2 drops, go back and revisit our reviews on both our channels, on Team GBS and mine, on each episode and the podcast and our reactions. I think, without sounding too braggy, we delivered some great storytelling, creative stuff in the community, and we did that on a weekly basis. And I don't know how the hell we did it, but we did it, and it's possible. So go check that out in the meantime until season 2 arrives. And as always, first, Feliz Dia of the Last of Us Day, and to the edge of the universe and back. Endure and survive. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.